Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the May 31st, 2023 meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees. We will have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will also have the moment of silence. The moment of silence as we continue. Just a few days ago, the Memorial Day, as we celebrate those heroes, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, trying to preserve freedom and what it's truly about being an American citizen. So we just remember those in our families and our friends, those that have fallen, as well as those currently serving, just to keep them safe. So please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Approval of the minutes, please, Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees regular meeting on May 10th, 2023, and the special meeting on May 18th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending May 16th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Report from our fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Significant transactions since our last meeting. On 5/18, we received a deposit from the Hamilton County Auditor's Office for $892,000, which is the semi-annual settlement. And on 5/31, we received $45,000 for cable franchise fees. As far as disbursements, on 5/16, we cut a check to Turner Construction for $1,600,000. Check to Adlita for $197,000 for our road projects. And then on 5/25, our payroll was $323,000. That's all I have.
Very good, thank you. Trustee correspondence, Trustee Sturts.
I don't have anything at this time. I think Trustee Seavey is going to cover it.
Fantastic. Trustee Seavey.
This is a very special thank you to the Delhi Township Veterans Association for another very moving Memorial Day service in recognition of our killed in actions in Delhi Township. Every year, we are just in awe of the fact that Delhi Township, have such a tremendous, strong group of Delhi veterans who sponsor this event every year. I'd also like to thank Kids, Cops, and Firefighters for donating their time for a grill out following the ceremony. So, pre-warned, we do have Veterans Day in November, and you'll have a chance to see the Delhi Township veterans in action again. So, thank you, everyone who was there, and I know that the veterans appreciated your support. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. My only quick correspondence was a couple residents who reached out to thank the police department for your increased patrols up on Delhi Pike. That says it's much appreciated, and they get it, which is good. And I know Assistant Chief Braun, the most recent numbers that we've had, I'm trying to remember, whatever it was, but again, it's not so much to have to ticket you, although they'll certainly ticket you if it's blatantly, you just run right through it. But it's just to get people to pay attention up there. Delhi Pike and all the intersections, whatever's going on around you in the other local jurisdictions is not happening here. We actually will enforce the traffic laws, especially up on Delhi Pike. It's just about keeping people safe. So be very, very aware of that. So when you're on the pike and you're approaching an intersection, that light turns yellow, stop. Yellow means clear the intersection, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? So if you're not in your intersection, stop, please. You're going to hurt somebody. Thank you so much on that. We do have a fire department announcement of retirement.
We have a motion to accept the retirement of Fire Lieutenant Kevin G. Braun, effective June 6, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion is approved. Chief Doug Campbell.
Well, it's official. So as of yesterday, he has completed 33 years with the township. So he was hired May 30th, 1990. He was fortunate enough to work with me as a firefighter in 1998. He was my lieutenant. I can honestly say Kevin's heart's as big as this room. I mean, he is truly dedicated to this community, and a number of the runs that I went on with him during those years where I was kind of learning the craft and things like that, he definitely was a mentor. And in many respects, I looked up to him just for the sheer fact that in a split decision, he could make a decision, and 99% of the time, it was the right decision to make. But going on no information, it's kind of hard to find people like that. So certainly from that standpoint, he will be missed in that regard. We will let him know that on Friday for his retirement luncheon at the firehouse at 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So feel free to stop by and say hi or goodbye. I know he will not completely disappear. In Kevin's way, he always finds a way into the fire department and around this mess. So we're sad to see him go, but certainly I know I'm very happy for him to get to enjoy his retirement and go on to bigger and better things.
Okay. Trustee Sturts?
We wish you the best, Kevin. Thank you for 33 years and for serving the people of Delhi and upholding the standards that the township expects, and the fire department is always given, and the police department, but in this case, our fire department. So enjoy this time. Hopefully, you'll be able to relax some.
Trustee Seavey?
Congratulations, Kevin. I mean, what can we say? We were so fortunate to have your family share you with us for 33 years. That's quite an accomplishment. And like Chief Campbell said, you were the professional to the very end, and we so appreciate it, and you will be missed. Thanks, Kevin.
Absolutely. 1990, 33 years, slip dresses, bomber jackets, scrunchies, plaid flannel shirts, which were hot in the 90s, and actually some are making their way back.
Yeah,
So
they are now.
there you go. Hold On by Wilson Phillips, Roxette, Sinead O'Connor, tons of things. Just starting then, you think 33 years, what all Kevin Braun has been involved with, the personal assistance that he has offered through the fire division to non-breathers, to fire, to loss of life, to just, it's unbelievable. I can imagine if you were able to take those 33 years and just condense them into one there and just look at the incredible contributions that he's made. He will certainly be missed, and then I'm sure, as like you said, he'll be around. Kevin's heart is in this township. He's been here. Has he been here all his life?
I believe so.
Yeah. And most of our residents, those that have been here, know Kevin. You've seen him. Has been involved. He's been union president, still union president, and he loves the division, loves the residents, loves the other firefighters, and yeah, that's tough to replace. 33 years, but hopefully, as we said, he'll still be around, and because he has a good voice of experience, and we wish him well. God bless you on your journey, Kevin, and we'll see you in the township, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Continuing on, resignations.
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Jacob P. Kelly, effective May 29th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved.
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Nicholas S. Stanger, effective June 5th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. But recommendations also. Chief? Go ahead.
They're both going to where?
City of Cincinnati.
Darn them.
Yes. And it's silly to say this, but Jacob Kelly, he's a Delhi resident, and we gobbled him up as quickly as he got out of school. We waited for his certification, and then come to find out that he had already tested with the city before he was out of school and got the job offer. Nick Stanger, served as an explorer. We hired him part-time. He's been with us for a few years, and then same thing. I'm happy for them. They are going to be great representatives of the fire service, unfortunately, in a different community. But we will try to steal them back at some point in time. We can see what we can do.
Just grab him on a mutual aid run and throw him back on the truck.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
So, yeah, it's tough to see them go. But, again, as par for the course, they were offered full-time positions with the city of Cincinnati.
Darn it.
All right, continuing on.
We have a motion to approve the hiring of Alexander M. Enderhees as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association upon successful completion of the pre-employment physical and drug testing effective on May 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved.
Motion to approve the hiring of Anthony W. Addison as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association upon successful completion of the voice stress analyzer test, pre-employment physical, and drug testing effective on May 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Motion approved. Parks and Recreation
I have a
tonight.
question first.
Oh, yeah.
Chief, why does one have to just do pre-employment physical and drug tests, and the other one has to do voice stress and on all that other stuff?
So Tony has not scheduled his VSA yet.
Okay,
Alex is done with his.
Okay.
So that's why it's just the verbiage. And then both of them are part of our blast campaign. We have been putting out new and improved flyers for part-time hiring. We were able to get 8 applications immediately after that. We'll keep posting because it seems to be working. It's at least drawing attention and certainly going through the process of vetting all these folks. But that's the difference.
so with Lieutenant Braun's retirement, you'll be doing some more moving up and
So we have already hired one full-time firefighter extra to fill in with that anticipated retirement. Now we're working on the promotional process.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Parks and Recreation, please. Resolution.
Resolution 2023-64, entering into an agreement with the Delhi Community Benefit Skirt Softball Committee for use of Delhi Park for its 2023 annual charity event, authorizing the administrator to execute the agreement, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this? Mr. Soupy.
This was just a revamp of the old skirt game policies. We kind of just fine-tuned it and got everything set to the new progress we're doing up on the pavement.
Very good.
So, Mr. Supi, their requests were the same from last year to this year, and we're approving those?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, resolution passes.
We have a motion to grant the waiver from park rules regarding hours of use, overnight camping, and open flames to Our Lady of Victory Boy Scout Pack 909 from 8 a.m. Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 through 5 p.m. Sunday, June 4th, 2023 for their annual parent-son overnight campout and flag retirement ceremony in Delhi Park, Flora Paradise Gardens, 5125 Foley Road.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Anything else, Randy?
I have nothing else right now. If you guys have any questions, I could answer.
I don't have any, and on a night with lots of resolutions, yeah, we just keep rolling.
So are the pickleball courts open? That's my only question.
Pickleball carts are open. We didn't do an
Final.
official opening, but yeah, everything's there. Benches
Okay.
are there. We are in the process of getting more amenities there. So
Okay, right.
it is open though.
But the
Yeah.
courts,
Everything's
final,
done, yes,
everything.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any interest in doing a ribbon cutting ceremony?
I think when they're finished, when you finish the amenities, so it really looks
That's fine.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
That would work. I will let you
Absolutely.
know.
On schedule.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks,
I know you
Randy.
guys are busy up there. Police Department, I have no agenda items, anything hot? I don't, unless you have any questions. I do not. Trustee Seavey, Trustee Sturts,
I'm
anything?
good.
Jim, are you good? Thank you, Jim. Public Works, please. Well.
I should be quick too. I don't have a whole lot. The biggest thing is Neeb Road with the new sidewalks. Should be complete Friday, and I've already seen quite a few people using them, so that's been pretty nice. Other than that, there's paving coming, but no set dates yet, so we're a little ways away. Once I find out, I'll have some PowerPoint pictures and let everybody know.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, they're looking great.
Looks good.
Administration, resolution, please.
Resolution 2023-65, authorizing the township administrator to spend greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
This is the final payment to Queen City Blacktop for the work performed on the pickleball courts.
Okay. I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. Resolution passes. Continue.
Resolution 2023-66, restating lease agreement with Mount St. Joseph University for the use of 21 designated parking spaces at the Senior Center, Community Center in connection with its nursing program, authorizing the township administrator to execute the lease agreement and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution?
This is a simple renewal of a longstanding lease agreement between us and the Mount. They utilize these parking spaces for their offices across the street on need.
Very good. Thank you.
Administrator Skylar Miller, I do have a question on this one, because I have seen it a couple times, more than I'd like to, and that's are the students running across the street, and we've asked the county about possibly putting in a crosswalk there
Okay?
to help those students get from the parking lot over to their classrooms. Ron,
Here comes
whatever
Mr.
happened?
Carpenter. He's ready.
We've definitely had some conversations with the county on that, and I can't remember, it's been a few years, the reason why, but they were not biting on putting one in.
Well, there.
I can
think
ask
there's-
again.
I think there's more classrooms or more students using it, because when they shift classes, I mean, there's a lot of them coming across the street.
At the last minute, running.
Yes, at the last minute running, exactly.
Like a typical student.
And
Yeah.
some of it is, kind of liability stuff. If it's not handicap accessible, they don't want to put the lines on the street. I don't remember the exact reason on that one, but I can find out.
Let's bring that up to them again and tell them that the problem still exists and that the problem has gotten probably a little bit worse. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks.
Any further discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. Resolution passes. Continue.
Resolution 2023-67, amending a lease agreement with Delhi Town Square Apartments LLC for a ground lease at 5025 Delhi Pike, a.k.a. Delhi Town Square, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Discussion, please. Skylar?
This is a modification to the existing agreement with Delhi Town Square Apartments. This is a slight change in the schedule of payments, just sliding everything back a couple of months. It's giving them an opportunity to develop their site, us develop our site. It,
Allows a little bit of time to make sure we get it right.
yep,
Good.
we're good.
Thank you.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. Resolution passes. Administrator's update.
All right,
Mr. Miller.
fun time, the picture slideshow with DTS, just showing that we now have brick on our building. So the exterior is getting put on, starting on the west side, moving towards the east. So you can't really see it in this picture yet, but you'll see a lot of that masonry work getting completed over the next couple of weeks. Looking to the north, PLK has not only started working on their second building, but now they have their third under construction, and you can see it in the background of this picture. The third floor is coming up on Building 1. It's either by the end of this week or mid next. Both of those, the Building 1 and 2 should be under roof. So very exciting. They're moving very quickly. And this is just a fun picture. We now have a pool with a floor. So it's getting sealed this week, but we do have an actual Olympic-sized pool under roof.
So that's not a community jacuzzi?
Yeah, it scales a little off on this. Yeah, I promise. That's an 8-lane Olympic pool.
8-lane Olympic right there,
8-lane
okay.
Olympic pool.
With
So,
diving capability.
yeah, to the left of this picture that's cut off is where the warming pool will be, and there'll actually be a wall there. So they've got to finish working on this. The wall goes up, and then they install the next pool. So, very exciting times over at DTS right now. So this is actually me standing on the roof, getting a nice view of not only the PLK development, but also our stage out front. That's poured and will be ready for canopy once we start developing the lawn. So unless there's any questions for me, that's all I had today.
No, any questions at all?
I wish you would work a little harder.
Please, yeah, please, no, please. All right, any other discussion? Nothing else? Good. Community development?
All right. Mr. Roach is going to give us a presentation of all of the properties. Then we can answer questions after he's went through all the slides. Okay, ready to go?
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to start out with, well, first of all, we started out with 21 this morning down to 14, so that's a good thing, right? So start out with 528 Neeb Road, excessive vegetation, 5196 Delhi Pike, excessive vegetation, 5376 Romance Lane, excessive vegetation, 1021 Neeb Road, excessive vegetation, 5321 Plum Ridge Drive, excessive vegetation, 465 Burhan Drive, excessive vegetation, 306 Anderson Ferry Road, excessive vegetation and accumulated debris, 4705 Mayhew Avenue, excessive vegetation, 5161 Cleves Warsaw Pike, excessive vegetation, 5370 Pembina Drive, excessive vegetation, 4605 Foley Road, accumulated debris, 6434 Mapleton Avenue, junk motor vehicle, 263 Kinsman Court, accumulated debris, and last but not least, 471 Anderson Ferry Road, accumulated debris. So unless you all would have any questions on any of the properties, we're just requesting you declare them nuisances.
And this list was updated and checked as of, I believe, noon today.
That's correct.
So,
So we went from 20-some down to 14 because people corrected it and they were able to come off that, so
That's correct, Chair.
good. Thank you for that. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
So,
Continue.
okay, so since you've read all those, we go on now to, I introduce and move the adoption of resolutions 2023-068 through 2023-081.
I have to read the resolutions.
Oh, you have to, I thought he did.
yep. So they all have to be read now.
I jumped the gun. New process, sorry.
You're good.
There we go.
All right, so we have resolutions 2023-68, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 528 Neeb Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-69, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5196 Dolly Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-70, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5376 Romance Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-71, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 1021 Neeb Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-72, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5321 Plum Ridge Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-73, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 465 Burhan Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-74, declaring a nuisance for excessive vegetation and accumulated debris at 306 Anderson Ferry Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-75, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4705 Mayhew Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-76, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5161 Cleves Warsaw Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2023-77, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5370 Pembina Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2023-78, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4605 Foley Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2023-79, providing for the removal of a junk motor vehicle at 6434 Mapleton Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2023-80, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 263 Kinsman Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. And Resolution 2023-81, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 471 Anderson Ferry Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading.
Okay, now I introduce and move the adoption of resolutions 2023-068 through 2023-081.
I second the adoption of these resolutions.
Any discussion on the resolutions? Sir?
I'm one of them. Am I allowed to speak?
Sure, come on up. If you'll state your name and where you are.
Terrence Gleason, 306 Anderson Ferry. I apologize I came to this again. My son-in-law took forever getting me the weed eater because it was so high after my mower broke. I got a bunch of excuses. I got the weed eater yesterday morning. I went to do it yesterday, but I do have a handicapped daughter that lives with her mother, and she had an emergency doctor where I needed to babysit the handicapped child. So I was on it all day today, and he gave me 2 batteries for the weed eater, and they're taking forever to charge. I got 75% of it done, and I just wanted to know exactly what debris they were talking about. And I cleaned a lot of it up, but I just want to make sure I know what all.
Okay.
Tony?
Mr. Roach?
Yeah, so it's just basically whatever's on the front porch there. Looks like there may be a recliner there, but it's anything. It's not it's supposed to be outside. It's anything like a recliner, any garbage, that type of thing. If you have any other questions, we certainly can send our inspector by to clarify anything.
One thing I would encourage, schedule that meeting with our zoning inspector. He can meet you on site. You guys can walk the site and come to an arrangement, okay? If you have, personal issues that are slowing down progress, explain that to him. We can give you more time, all right? We're always happy to work with you.
Yes, sir. You guys have been great. Well, that's one reason I came tonight. I assumed there's a couch on the porch, and I assumed it was about that. And I was going to ask the board if I would be able to keep, if I get everything else done, if I could keep the couch on the porch. I got a really, really nice porch. It's really long and nice, and I got Joe's Hauling, got it for free and gave it to me for free up on the porch. And you really can't see it much from the street. There's a big bush there, but I was just going to ask if I'm allowed. That's one reason I really came tonight, to see if I could keep that.
So, Chair Davis, if I may.
Yeah, please.
So what would have to happen, I believe, and Mr. Pacheco can chime in if he would like as well. We will issue the formal order as of tomorrow, and then the resident here will have an appeal hearing right to schedule a public hearing in front of your board again to request that. And then at that time, I think you would make that determination whether you would say yes or no.
Yeah, it wouldn't be here for that, which we appreciate that. Was it Gleason? What?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come up here, because I can assure you 99.9% of the time, we're here to help, not we're trying to be a hindrance in your world. But, yeah.
I apologize for this. I'm a multiple offender, and I always have some kind of excuse. They're all true, but I'm so sorry to have it come to this and always waste your time and everything.
It is not a waste at all.
Well,
we appreciate
it should
you.
never
Yeah.
come to this, and I apologize greatly. And every time I'm on to get a new lawnmower and just keep up with it after this, I got 75% cut now. And I'm going home right now to finish it. I got a grandson baseball game ongoing right now at visitation, but as soon as I go over there and go straight back home, I should have the yard totally done tonight.
Yeah.
And I apologize for this, and Tony's exactly correct. That is the proper procedure, what he said. I already understand. I have a lot legal background, so I understand. So I'll be glad to do that, to try to keep the couch and
Yeah.
get everything else done they want.
Yeah, and you have Tony's number and things like that. Whenever there's questions, and even those watching from home, just call. If you receive a letter of something at your prop, just call and we'll talk with you, or you come up to the meeting. We love seeing the residents, so.
We'll get this taken care of.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then I have, I guess, 30 days. How long do I have to appeal that? Well, after tomorrow, you do it. You do it anytime after tomorrow?
You'll have 7 days to, Mr.
7
Gleason, you
days.
have 7 days to appeal that in writing or email form.
Right, okay. Well, then I'll be glad to do that. Well, I'm going out of town again tomorrow, but as soon as I come back, I'll do that within 7 days.
Good. Thank you,
I
sir.
apologize again to the board. This is a great, great township, and the police do a great job, a great
That they
job.
do.
Mr. Gleason, just for clarification, it's going to be 7 days from the date of the letter, so you stated you're going out of town, so it's going to be 7 days as the date of the letter,
Oh, the original letter.
of the one you'll receive next.
Oh, sure. Yes, sir. Well, thank you
Thank
again,
you.
board.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other discussion?
So if I may, what I would recommend is go ahead and approve that resolution. It's in violation
yeah.
as it stands
Yeah.
today. We will continue to work with every one of these residents individually on an administrative side. You know, we're always happy to see voluntary compliance. So just because a nuisance violation, and this is for the benefit of the people watching at home as well, just because something gets declared a nuisance here doesn't mean that there's going to be monetary penalties or us going on the property and cleaning it up immediately. We continue to work with the residents. We work with them for voluntary compliance all the way to the end.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I have 1 second as well. When I was, when I started here in 19, I remember I've commented before, I think the township's had a model process for how it does these nuisances. First of all, it has to address them, right, as a matter of public policy. That's your job, and you do it well, but you also give people enough time and enough ability to be able to try to address those. You're looking for compliance. You're not looking for enforcement, per se, through that action. You want compliance. So what you've done in terms of your hearing processes, I've always been impressed with, and when I've used these as a model in my other jurisdictions to the extent that they don't do that. But to Mr. Roach's point, because we don't talk about this much, because as Chairman points out, nobody shows up, right? I think this is the first time in my 4 years anybody's ever showed up about a nuisance, unless they're referring to me. But anyway, within 7 days,
Every week.
within 7 days of the resolution, you have the right to request a hearing. So that's everybody. So not only do people have an adjudication, as Mr. Miller's pointing out, but they do have the right to come back to you and say, well, this isn't really a nuisance for whatever reason. So even after you issue the order, you're still giving them another 7 days to come back saying this is not a nuisance. So precisely the process that you've outlined, and it is really a model. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you. I move to dispense with the second reading of the aforementioned resolutions.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of these resolutions.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes?
Yes, Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, resolution passes. I have no one else signed up for public comments. Anyone going once, twice, 3 times?
Lady.
Yes. Announcement of community events, Mr. Luby.
We have free fishing on Fridays at Clearview Lake. The lake is now open to Delhi residents for catch and release fishing in designated areas on Fridays through September from 7 a.m. till dusk. Contact the Parks Department with any questions. Delhi Branch Library event, Remembering Delhi Conversation Series, is Monday, June 5th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Bring your memories and memorabilia and join us in conversation and connection as we look back at Delhi Township through the years. Registration is available but not required. Delhi Farmers Market, next market is on Saturday, June the 10th from 9 a.m. until noon. It's at Clearview Lake parking lot right on Foley Road. For a complete listing of vendors, you can visit the township's website. The Delhi Historical Society program, Cincinnati Beer, is Monday, June 12th from 7 to 8 p.m. And that's at the Delhi Community Senior Center on Neeb Road. Michael Morgan, author of Over the Rhine, When Beer Was King, and Cincinnati Beer, brings his fresh history of Cincinnati brewing heritage, which is greater than that of St. Louis or Milwaukee. The Delhi Parks and Recreation presents the Danny Fraser Band, Thursday, June 15th at 7 p.m. That'll be at the Delhi Park Performance Pavilion. No coolers are permitted. Food and beverages are available for purchase, and contact the parks for more information. That's all we have.
Very good, thank you. We do have need for executive session tonight. We will entertain a motion to retire to executive, please.
Motion to retire to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and/or compensation of a public employee of the township, and to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance and imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. Motion approved. We are now going into executive session. Thank you all for being here tonight. Those watching from home, thank you so much. Our next meeting will be June 14th, Wednesday, June 14th at 6 p.m. Have a great weekend ahead, everyone, and see you in a few weeks.
Perfect.